if you want to look these up, in section 3 of the IRC, here's all of the codes that are pertinent with these different sections. Notice they're all pretty much 311, 312. So you can find them in there. I would tell you the truth, I've looked at these many times. I would highly recommend that all of you grab that code book and look through these sections and see how the terminology is written. If you can get it. Now you can just stick with the text because it's based on this, but I would try and get familiar with it. All right, the chart. I tried to put it into other words also. Here's how we're going to design our stairs. First thing we need to do is we need to find the overall rise of the stair. Now that's not the step, that's the entire stair. So finished floor to finished floor. That's the first thing we want to do. Okay, we've already got a wall section we can pull this off of. Okay, we can just project off of it. Remember the one that's got the concrete wall and then it goes to the upstairs that I gave you right off the bat? Same thing, we can pull it off of there. Next thing you're going to do is when you find that distance, you want it in inches, we're going to divide that by the number of risers that we want. Now, when you get to there, you're going to get some decimal number, like it might come up 16.3 or whatever. Can we have a partial step? No, we can't. So then you turn around and go to your dimensions to the nearest 16th, divide it again. Your treads will always be one less than the number of risers once you come up with this number of your rise for each individual step. Then we'll go ahead and draw it. That really kind of follows the table 39.2 in your text. So let's go to this table and let's plug in our numbers. So here, they're adding everything up from finished floor to finished floor. Somebody that's got your drawing open, can you give me the dimensional information from the finished floor of the basement to the finished floor of the main floor?
I get 10 foot 2 and an eighth.
10 foot 2 and an eighth? 10 foot 2 and 1/8 inch.
Which one do you read?
I got 9 foot 10 and 1/8. From this bottom to this.
9 foot 10.
We should all be pretty close to the same.
9
Do
foot
you get
10.
10 on
This one seems right to me.
Sounds like everyone else is getting 9 foot 10 and an eighth.
9 foot 10 and an
9 foot 10?
eighth.
Okay, well, let's add it up. How far are concrete walls?
9 foot.
9 foot minus 4 inches for the floor, right? So it is 8 foot 8. That's my concrete wall. Okay? From the basement floor. That's to the top of the concrete wall. Then we have our seal plate, right? Which is 1.5 inches. That's that 2x8 that sits on top of the concrete wall. Then we have 11 7/8 for a floor joist. Then we have 3/4 for our OSB. Okay. So let's add that up.
9 foot 10.
Yeah, it looks like it might be in the 9 foot something.
Yeah, it's 9'10" and an 8.
Yeah, 22, 10. Nine foot 10 and an 8? What'd you get, Majid?
9 foot something.
9 foot something?
Um,
Okay, so here's my section, let me measure it and see. So I'm coming finished floor, because my stairs are gonna sit on this concrete floor down here, right? So I'll measure from there, and I wanna go all the way up to this finished floor. Oh, this one's hung down. I got 10 foot 2 and an 8. Let me see. So there's 9 foot minus 4, that's 8, 8. And I'm going 1.5 here. Okay, that's good. And I'm going 11 7/8. There. And I'm going 3/4. Okay. Let me set your floor, this floor the same as yours, which would be right there, so distance from here to there. 9 foot 10 and 8. 9, 10 and an 8.
Here we usually more.
Mine's more because I hung that. Notice these 2 inches for the floor here? We're putting our floor all the way on top of the footing. This one I actually did a little different. Okay, so we're 9 foot 10 and an 8. What is that in inches? 118.125.
somebody?
Yeah. Can we get somebody to confirm that?
Don't trust me.
9 times 12 plus 10.
118?
Yep.
Yeah, 118.
Okay. Okay, that's, okay, so that is the first part. So we added that up. So that's here. So we've got that number. Next thing they do, they do this one slightly different, but we'll just follow their example because that's the one you guys will take with you. They're saying the maximum riser height is 7 3/4. So we're going to divide that by that. So I'm going to take this number and divide it by 7.75. We are finding riser height. Or actually, we're finding the number of risers, excuse me. What do we get for that number?
15.24.
15.24.
How far do we need to carry the decimal out on those?
2 decimal places are fine because we're going to round this to a 16.
Okay.
Okay, now, I'll wait till everybody's done writing. Okay, now, this is the maximum riser height, right? maximum. We can't go any higher than this number as far as each individual step going up. Since I'm at 15.24, we're going to round this. Now, I cannot round it down, because if I go to 15 risers, this number's got to go up, and I can't go above that. So what I do is I always round it up. So this means that there are 16 risers. Okay, at a minimum. At a minimum. That doesn't mean that's the final step we're going to determine. Now we're going to turn this around, and we're going to now take 118.125, and we're going to divide it by 16. Or the number of risers, divided by the number of risers. Now we're finding the height. So I'll say height of 16, height of 17. We're going to look at both steps. So if you would take this number, divide it by 16, what does that equal to?
7.3.
7.38.
8.
Okay. And then somebody, can you divide that by 17?
11.07. 11.07.
No, I don't think so. 118 divided by 17?
188.
6.95. Did you get that much yet?
188, not 180.
Okay. Same mistake I make when you're punching the buttons, huh? Hit the one next to it. Okay, so we've got some choices starting to develop. If we go to 16 risers, our stair step is going to be 7 3/8. Because isn't it 0.38? Isn't that 3/8? Okay. If I go to 17 risers, I'm 6 15/16. Again, I'm going to round that off. 15/16 is 0.9375, rounds to 0.94. It's 100 off. But we will have that fluctuation to bury that mistake in there. So we can make our choice. Now again, as I mentioned before, I really kind of think you want to think of the occupants here. And somebody that's 6 foot or better is going to like this step. Somebody that's 6 foot or smaller is going to like this step. Now what's the problem with them? This one requires another foot or so of distance because I'm carrying the step out longer. Okay, so I need more room also. So there's kind of give and take here on what you do. So I think we got plenty of room on this because we got a basement that's unfinished. Doesn't really matter to me which one you choose to do. If you want to know the original people that moved into this place, okay, we went with this. Okay, they were smaller people. I think the man was probably 5'7", and the woman was probably about 5'2". So we went with this. But your choice here, whatever one you want to do. If you're hunting for space, go with this guy. Okay. All right, so I'm going to use this number right here. So I'm going to make my riser now 6 15/16. Okay. You just round this number to the nearest 16th. Remember, that's the tolerance in architectural, is a 16. And I'm going to have 17 of them. So how many treads will I have? Right here, step 3, treads. One less. Why do we have one less tread? Because I got a landing on the top and the bottom that are not considered treads. All right, so there's our dimensional information. Anybody going to go with 17 or 16?
I would, but now I'm going to calculate off this one.
No, you can do it. You just change the numbers. Okay. So we go 16 risers, and we are going to go them at 6 15/16. If you go 17 risers you'll be at 7 3/8. Can we go 18?
No.
Can I go 18? Can I go 19?
Is there a minimum?
There is no minimum. There used to be a minimum.
You might kick
There
your foot though, if
it
you
used
didn't
to
have
be-
enough.
It used to be you couldn't go less than 6. Now there is no minimum in code. You can do, if you, especially, this becomes important on outside steps. Because if you, a lot of times we take land surface, they got slope, and we put stairs into them. That's the reason the code was altered. And this slip might have two inches on each step, right? There is no minimum.
I think that low, shorter steps are better for the elderly.
Without a doubt. Boy, am I finding that out.
You can toe steppers too though.
Yeah, certainly, there's a lot of considerations there. Elderly, without a doubt, would prefer a smaller step, right? Our bodies don't work like they used to. I mean, I haven't found myself bounding up the stairs in 15 years. Now it's more of a kind of shuffle.
Only if there's 2 or
Back when I was
3.
like, you young man, as the heck, I'd be 3 steps in a row. It'd take me 2 seconds to get up and down. Now it's like a 5-minute journey, like pack water.
That's funny.
All right, so we got all our numbers. Let's take a break. We'll come back and we're gonna draw this. Okay? Take a break and we'll come back and start drawing.
I still take 2 stairs now and then. Try.
I
try. You got to.
Stairs.
I think it's so you can hang your,
Look, yeah.
Oh, I can put my picture. Okay.
Well, hello, David. You're so quiet, I never even know if you're here or not.
it's not miserable, we're gonna be this, I have to stay away from you.
You, don't touch me.
Have you heard of the stairs in Mexico or New Mexico or Arizona that are like miracle stairs? They were built a long time ago by hand and they don't know how they're supported.
At 7.
Oh, really? They're just floating?
Yeah.
The 17 risers at 7 3/8, 15.
This is church.
For what?
Because right up there is 17 risers at 7 3/8. But if you minus 1, because we have 7 3/8.
Oh, that's for
Oh,
tread.
interesting.
So,
In a church, where?
we'll have 17
They're
risers
amazed by
at
its seemingly
7
absence.
3/8, but you're gonna have, 16 tread.
That's not a very big picture. Huh.
Because it says you subtract 1.
Yeah, there's no pole down the middle.
Right. For tread.
And it was 16.
So you
I mean,
take number of
there's so much
tread
difference between
risers
parking.
minus.
There's so much real estate,
minus
this big,
1.
huge staircase.
So because
So much square footage.
So we're gonna have 17, we're gonna have 17 of these vertical cuts. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So 17 of those, and there's gonna be 16
That's
horizontal.
Yeah.
And the stairs are.
Right. So if you have, so if you have,
And there's
Six
1,000
risers.
people.
And there is 100.
that gave us